Hi, welcome and thank you for listening to the Fearless Adventure podcast. My name is Veerle and I'm taking you with me on a journey. In this podcast, I will give you a glimpse into my location-independent free life. I will tell you about the challenges of online entrepreneurship as a nomad, about finding the right mindset to grow, and how you can experience real freedom in your own non-nomadic life. My name is Veerle and welcome to Fearless Adventure. Hello, it is time for a new episode of the Fearless Adventure podcast. I just finished recording an episode for the Dutch podcast, for the Reizende Strijdster podcast. And I have been doing a 14 days everyday new podcast challenge for the Dutch podcast. And I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to include this one as well. But I was recording it in Dutch and I thought, all right, I have to record it in English as well. This is too powerful to not record. And that's why I'm just recording it now. I might record the episodes that I made for the 14-day challenge also in English, but I won't publish them within the time frame of 14 days as well, because I think doing that for two podcasts is maybe a little bit too much. So there are more podcasts coming. Know that that's the case, but it might take a little bit more time. The reason why why I am doing the 40-day podcast challenge is to promote that I'm doing the Summer of Masterclasses. I'm gonna do 2 weeks of masterclasses for free, so you can register for that and just follow all the masterclasses for free. Just because I feel like summer is the perfect time to learn new stuff, and I wanted to share my knowledge, and I didn't feel like doing paid masterclasses, and I have all these topics, all this knowledge that I want to share, and then have to launch it and have to plan it all out. So I'm gonna do this once for free, and then I'm gonna put all those masterclasses on my website for sale. So that's what I thought, and that's why I thought it might be a nice one to promote it on the podcast channel. But yeah, I somehow only recorded Dutch podcast until now, so it's not the best promotion because the Summer of Masterclasses is all going to be in English. But yeah, it's just something that I like to do. The inspiration is flowing like crazy, and I have so much topics to share about. Something that changed a little bit in the last couple of weeks is that I really narrowed it down what my business is about. And it's about freedom, about energy, and about business. And every time that I'm writing down my business, I knew these three parts were a big part of what I do. But it always felt a bit out of alignment to talk about business when everyone thought I was only talking about digital nomading. And the last year and a half, I've been focusing on energy work and about shadow work and gene keys and human design. So it felt a bit unclear, but now it all makes sense that everything falls under these three pillars. So that's why I decided that that's going to be what it is. And now the podcast will be divided in those three topics as well. All my courses are divided in those three topics. And that's how it's going to be. And that's fine. It made everything align. Everything feels good. Everything is flowing. So I'm really happy about that. And I hope I can get this thing going. I never know with which place I am and how my creative juices are flowing. Sometimes I stop working completely all of a sudden, but hey, that's okay. All right, but that was just the things that I wanted to share before diving into this topic of today. And the topic that I want to dive in today is journaling. I have been journaling for over 20 years, and it started all out with a Dear Diary, writing about all my romances, about my angry girl phase. I have been writing about boyfriends a lot and not always in the nicest way. And it really shifted towards, organizing myself, making plans, dreaming. And I think having a journal it really helped me to make my dreams come true. I think if I didn't have a journal, that I wouldn't have my business. If I didn't have a journal, I wouldn't be traveling. I wouldn't have been able to travel, I guess, because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to expect. And writing in a journal really made me analyze the fears that I had and make it work, and made me write down why I was afraid to travel for such a long time and why I couldn't cope with it. So, yeah, journaling really helped me. And that's why I wanted to record an episode about journaling, because it changed my life completely. And I wanted to help you get started with this as well. There are a couple of different shapes of journaling, and I'm just gonna tell you about the different forms that it has. But I think the main purpose of journaling is to collect your thoughts and, yeah, just collect your thoughts and maybe put some order into it to construct it, make a plan out of it. But that's taking it a little bit further. I think it's really about collecting your thoughts to make some sense out of it and maybe even start dreaming, but that's a different form. So I think the most common, most well-known form of journaling is the Dear Diary style. The Dear Diary, today it was 20 degrees, I went horseback riding, and I like this boy, and blah blah blah. It's just that's how we know it. And that is totally fine, but I think it is a bit shallow, and it's perceived shallow as well. And I think that gives journaling a little bit of a bad rep when actually it's so powerful. Because I think the another form is the self-reflection, and that's where the power starts. It's crazy if you can reflect on everything that you've been doing, why you've been doing it, and what's holding you back doing certain things. Like I said, for me, the travel, the not being able to travel, the being too afraid to travel, to that's all because I started writing about it, that it really changed me. Journaling helps me to collect my limiting beliefs and change them. So yeah, I really think that there is so much magic in the self-reflection in your journal. There are different ways of journaling. I think something that has been popping, has been booming the last couple of years is bullet journaling. I think it's more like having a calendar. I used to do bullet journaling as well next to my actual journal. And for me, bullet journaling was really about planning and organizing everything, making my own schedules, making my own calendar pages. So it would be in my own preferred design. And I think bullet journaling is the best way to have all your lists. So I would make lists of where I wanted to travel, where I wanted to go paddleboarding, which movies I've seen, which books I've read. But nowadays I do all of that online because doesn't make sense if you're a digital nomad to travel around with a bullet journal and a journal. So bullet journaling is it's more like a calendar combined with all the lists that you might want to write down. All right, another form of journaling is morning pages. When you're waking up, you you're clear in your mind and you just want to write everything down. It's nice to write down your dreams because you can analyze that as well, but it's also nice to gather your thoughts first thing in the morning and then start your day with clarity. It really brought me a lot when I started doing that. Another form of journaling is the gratitude journal. It's just writing down what you're grateful for. And I think this really changed me as well. I have had very dark periods in my life. I have been very depressed, and I have talked about it before on the podcast, I believe. And I think gratitude journaling really changed that. It changed me from a person whose cup was always half empty, and it really changed me into someone whose cup is half full. And I know no one will say about themselves that they are someone with a cup is half empty mentality, but looking back at it, I know for sure that my cup was half empty. So yeah, I think this is what changed it for me, just to be happy about everything. That I was so grateful for the apartment that I was living in, the cat that was living with me, that I had food on the table every day, that I could clean, that I could walk, and just stating the obvious every day. All right, I'm happy that I'm breathing. I'm happy that there's fresh air around. I'm happy that there's groceries, stuff like that. Even though it's little things, it makes you very grateful, and it gives you a better perspective and a better outlook on life. So that's why I love gratitude journaling, and I think it's a really good day to start your day or end your day. I see it in my family. Some of my family members do this. They end the day with telling what is their favorite moment of the day, and I think it's such a beautiful thing to do when you're raising kids, to make them more grateful for life and really reflect on what happened that day. And yeah, I think it's just a really powerful tool. All right, the last form that I want to tell you about is the visualization and manifestation, because the power of journaling is when you write things down. Because when you write things down, you will want to make it happen. And when you just have a dream that's in your mind lingering, it will never get a proper shape of form because you haven't written it down yet. So if you write down your visualizations, then there is room to manifest it. So you need to start writing it down. And I think this is the most powerful way. This is what I've been doing for a long, long time now. And it really helps. It's really, it gets me there every time. So start doing that. All right, so I listed now all these forms of journaling, but there are still two type of styles as well that you can use. You can use the stream of conscious, just start writing, just put your pen on paper and write. And then just write everything that comes to mind. It can be the sky is blue, my pen is leaking, whatever. It might be weird things, but just keep writing, because when you keep writing, the good things will come at some point. So just do it. That's kind of the, the style that I usually do. But there's also a style that you can follow certain scripts. And I have a program that follows this, and I will tell you a little bit about that later on. But this is really good when you're new to journaling, that you just have a script, a prompt that you will follow, and it can say describe your favorite day of work, or what are the 5 things that you want to manifest in your life. And if you write that down, there's really, it gets you going, the creative juices are coming, and you might journal more than you think. So I think this is a really nice way of starting with journaling if you think the stream of conscious is just too weird. Because when I'm doing stream of conscious, sometimes I just write la 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 la, I don't know what to write, la 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 la, and then I keep going again. So it's sometimes it's just part of it, and that's nice. All right, and I will take a sip of water, and then I will continue with what you want to keep in mind when you start journaling. All right. When you are gonna um, start journaling, choose a time frame that you want to write. Especially when you do the stream of conscious, sometimes you just want to put on a timer for 20 minutes and start writing. That will really help you, because you know, all right, I need to keep writing for at least 20 minutes. So you're forcing yourself to write longer, and then the good ideas start. So the time frame is important. But you also want to pick a time of a time of day when you're gonna write. So for me, it really works to write first thing in the morning, because I haven't done anything else. I'm not influenced by Instagram or people around me of anything. So it will I will just start my day like that. And when I decided that I'm going to journal every morning, it will have a form a routine, and I think that's important, because if I stop journaling, I always feel out of alignment because I don't have any plans anymore, and that doesn't work for me. So I need to keep journaling. Sometimes I see that I haven't touched my journal in a couple of weeks, and then I realize, that's why I felt so out of tune. So yeah, for me, it really helps to set a certain time frame that I want to write for sure. And sometimes I write during the day as well, or yeah, my journal is always around me. If you know, if you've met me, you've seen my journal for sure. All right, and you might want to think about how often you want to write. Because, like I said, for me, it really helps to have a routine. But maybe for you, it's not possible to have a routine that you write down everything every morning. Maybe you want to write down every evening, or maybe you want to write down twice a week. That's totally fine. You have to really feel what works for you. So just experiment a little bit with it and start. All right, and the last thing that I wanted to mention is, how are you going to write? Which medium are you going to use? Are you someone that's going to write digitally? So, are you going to write in a Word document or on a journal service, or are you going to write with pen and paper? I am an analog writing girl. I need to have a pen and paper, but I know that there are people that cannot write that much anymore with their hands, because their hands are not used to writing that often. So digitally is totally fine as well. I know a lot of people who have just long Word documents, and that's fine. It's about the purpose, I guess, and not the way how you do it. But for me, pen and paper is so important. I think I collected over 100 journals in the last couple of years because I've been writing for over 20 years now for sure. But yeah, I have a favorite journal, of course. It used to be that every journal needed to have lines in it, but nowadays I write on blank paper, and that's really a change for me. And for me, the thickness of the paper is really important because I need to know that it won't bleed through. Because if you're writing with a fountain pen or with certain markers, you might bleed through the page and you get those nasty spots, and I don't like that. So I really need to check yeah, how the paper is designed. So if it's with lines or blank. And for me, it's important the thickness of the page. Sometimes the color is important because sometimes you have really yellow paper. Sometimes it's really gray or white. So I think that's important for the look and feel of it. And I noticed that I need to have a ribbon in it so I can see where I'm at. And when I'm traveling, I always look for journals that have this little side ring where you can put your pen, because otherwise I'm always in loss of a pen. Because when I'm traveling, I don't have like 20 pens at home that I can throw in my bag whenever I need it. So yeah, my journal usually has a side where you can put a pen. So that's all the things that for me are important when I'm journaling. And I think something that I also do is when I am abroad, I usually buy a beautiful pen, so it makes me a little bit happier every time I write. But that's more of a digital nomad hack, that you need to create your own form of home and happiness. And I do that with my journal and my beautiful pens. So I have glitter pens or pens with prompts on it or whatever. So yeah, for me, that's really important. So yeah, what to do if you want to continue with this? So I do have a course about it. I have the Journal Out Loud course, and in this course, I will have 4 journal parties where you can see me and hear me, and I am telling you which prompts to use, and we're together gonna write everything down. So you get inspired by everything that I say, because I write my own answers to the prompts and everything. So it's a really nice way to do it together. So if you're starting out, this is a good way. So Journal Out Loud is 99 euros, and it has 4 journal parties and it has 28 prompts. So it's a whole month where you can just dive in and really get started with the journaling. And another tip that I have is from my former business coach. It's Susie Koifer, and she has the Mindset Journaling Tribe. So she has the journal parties and the prompts as well. And it used to be a monthly tribe thing, but I think she changed it now into that you can just buy it and have lifetime access. So might be worth checking it out. I will put it in the show notes. But it's just a nice way to get you started with the journaling, because there is so much power in it. And I think the best power of it is just to start writing, write down your dreams, and when you say it out loud, it might manifest. And that's the power of it. All right. When I wrapped up the Dutch episode, I said that I might have a masterclass on journaling as well in the Summer of Masterclasses. If you want to register for that, you can go to fearlessbusiness.nl/masterclasses. You can register for free. I will do a 2-week free masterclass series, and you will get the schedule whenever I made the schedule, because I'm not 100% sure yet what I'm going to cover in those 2 weeks. That's all gonna form in my journal in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to host that. So if you want to be a part of that, check the show notes and I will update you whenever I have something new. All right, thanks for listening, and I talk to you later. Ciao. Thank you for getting along on my journey and listening to another episode of Fearless Adventure. Would you like more information on the topic of this episode? Then take a look at the show notes on fearlessadventure.nl. Give your opinion or want to screenshot this episode on Instagram, you can find me and tag me on Instagram at Fearless. That is Veerlez. Fearless. Can't wait to hear from you, and see you next time.